Okay, what are the major components of .NET? Well, at the very fundamental level, and that's where we're going to start out, at the bottom level. And we're going to build up one step at a time, one brick at a time, and do it very logically so you'll be able to see how each part fits together. So at the very bottom level is servers. What is a server? Well, it's a servant. It does what you ask it to do, and it's the foundation. Basically, a server just sits there, it's a listener that waits for you to give it commands. When you give it a command, it'll execute those commands for it, and that's it. And level number 2 component is the .NET framework itself. Now, the .NET framework sits between your compiled program and the ones and zeros that your computer executes. So your compiled program is in an intermediate language that is then translated by using the framework into ones and zeros. It's a native language for your particular computer that you're using. And this makes it a lot more efficient because it can be optimized for each computer. That's the just-in-time compiler compiles your work into a native language for the particular operating system that you're using. Third component is security. And security can cause you a lot of problems because there's a lot of different levels. There's file level, there's SQL Server level, and then there's also ASP.NET level of security. And we'll delve into those different levels and separate them out so that they won't be so confusing for you. Fourth component is monitoring tools. Now, what I'm talking about here are low-level monitoring tools to help you in debugging, figure out who's using this process. Why is SQL Server taking so long to execute this query, and so forth. The fifth component is a web server. There's actually 2 web servers that we're going to look at in particular. There's on the development side, when you're in Visual Studio, you're working with something called ASP.NET Development Server. And you need to keep that distinct in your mind from when you're working in production and using IIS, which is the Internet Information Services. So the next component is the SQL Server. This is confusing because there's so many components to that. It's an animal in itself, and we're expected to know this animal and all these other animals. So I'll try to cover the major parts of SQL Server and show where they reside in your computer. The 7th component are the software development tools that you use to write the software. And here we'll be looking at, in particular, at Visual Studio, at the Express editions of .NET languages, and also at SQL Server development tools like SQL Server Management Studio. And we'll wrap up by looking at the supporting languages for .NET. In addition to knowing .NET and all these other animals, you also have to know several supporting languages.